Hello and welcome to the Money Compass.
In each episode, we will be preparing you for your journey through the world of finance and helping you tick off the destinations on your financial itinerary.
Pack your bags and prepare for takeoff as you navigate your way to financial success.
Okay, hi. So welcome, Deb. Thank you for joining me this afternoon and talking about basically relationships and money. So for those of you who don't know, Deb is our relationships expert in the Money Group, and that is basically her job title. She is a relationships expert. So I know you have years of experience from personal experience and also from lots and lots of clients that you've worked with of dealing with relationships and money and how that can be such an impact. Money can be an impact on relationships. Can you share with us some of your top tips that you've come across over the years?
Goodness, I think my absolute top tip is to be open and honest. And one of the things a lot of my clients struggle with is having those difficult conversations, whether it's about the relationship, about sex, about money, about whatever it is. But money nearly always comes up. And the problem that arises is that we are often sort of conditioned through reading women's glossy magazines that actually it's okay to hide your purchases from your partner or your spouse, or it's okay to lie about how much it cost. And there's always that joke, a joke about, well, if life isn't going well, just go out and spend money, put it on the credit card, it doesn't matter. But as you know, as I know, if you keep spending on a credit card, at some point you've got to pay for it. But there comes a stage where if that debt is too high and it means you can't actually afford your own living expenses, and you're struggling then to pay your half of the rent or the mortgage or the food bill or the bills, whatever it is in a relationship, you have to have that conversation with your partner. Because if you don't, you might keep trying to maintain those payments, but it's going to cause no end of stress and anxiety for yourself. Your partner will pick up on that. They may not know what it is. And as a result, arguments will happen. You'll both get really tetchy with each other, start bickering. Nobody knows why. And the relationship then just spirals out of control. And very often it's because of money issues. It's because you both have a different attitude to money. And I know you've done a lot of work about attitude to money in the group, so I won't repeat that. But having those conversations, being open, being honest, difficult though they are, when the truth is out there, and this applies to any aspect of life, when the truth is out there, you know what you are dealing with. And in my experience, the majority of partners will support you in actually working to alleviate the debt, to repay the debt. Now, in some instances, there are instances, of course, on the flip side where people end up in an economically abusive relationship. I've been there myself on more than one occasion, unfortunately, where the debt is created in your name, but you're unaware of it. And it all of a sudden comes to your attention a number of years down the line. I'd actually been divorced from my ex-husband for 7 years before I found out that there was a £9,000 debt in my name. He'd accrued this debt in my name after we had separated, believe it or not. And the first I knew about it was when I received a letter as a final demand. So these things happen. Now, obviously, I couldn't talk to him. We have a relationship where we haven't spoken for many, many years, which actually works quite well, I have to be honest. However, I then had to have a conversation with the credit card company and say to them, look, this isn't me. I have no idea. I've got no awareness of this debt. Can you tell me when it was set up? And it was a difficult conversation to have because it made me look stupid, but they were so, so helpful. And I found, my past experience, I've been bankrupt in the past as well. When you're open and honest with those people who you really think are going to judge you, you actually end up with a plan, creating a route to repay the debt. And the same happens generally in good relationships. And if your relationship isn't one that can support you having such a difficult conversation, there might be other things going on in the relationship as well. And the money issues are just a symptom. But my top tip is be open and be honest. Don't hide things, because that's when problems happen. And in terms of other tips, I think they all feed into that. Things like having that conversation when you first move in together. How are we going to pay the bills? Who's responsible for them? Now, every couple is different, so there's no prescribed right way to do it. I know some couples, they have a joint bank account, everything goes into that bank account and everything goes out of that bank account. Other couples, and myself included, have your own personal bank account, and I actually pay my partner half of the bills into his house account. We don't have a joint account. That works for us. Other couples will have a joint account, which is just for the house and joint bills. And from their individual accounts, they will put the amount into the joint account every month to cover those bills, which means that their money is their own. And actually, you should have money that is your own, and you should be allowed to spend it on whatever you like. So what if he wants to spend it on yet another pair of walking boots? In my case, how many pairs of walking boots does one man need? But then he could say, how many handbags does a woman need? How many times do you need to go and get your hair done, a massage, your reflexology, all those sorts of things. So we don't have a go at each other for what the other person is spending their own money on. As long as we have both paid in what we need to pay in to cover the bills and the agreed ratio that we've agreed, that's fine. And likewise, again, lots of couples, it might be one partner pays all the bills, but the other partner buys all the food and pays for you to go out for meals. But it's about having those conversations to start with, so nothing is a surprise, and you know where the goalposts are when you're entering that relationship. So they're probably my best tips, I'd say.
Definitely. I do think that Ralph and Floss will get on, because Ralph has just bought a new pair of walking shoes, because apparently he needs a new pair of walking shoes because boots are just not the right thing for him at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Of course. So, but when he went to try them on, and the guy in the shop pulled out the two pairs, and he went, I'll try them both on. And I went, you don't need to try the second pair on. And he went, why is that? I said, because you're already wearing a pair like it. That didn't mean you did not buy the other pair. So yeah, no, I think we probably have the same challenges, because Ralph always goes, your haircut's very expensive. And I'm like, yes, it is. But well, probably not today because it looks a bit of a mess today. But normally it's like, yeah, and doesn't it normally look amazing, sweetheart? So that's fine.
I know, and I'm having my hair done at the end of the week, and Floss says to me, "But you only just had your hair done." Actually, no, I had it done 6-7 weeks ago, and it needs redoing. But these are the conversations. We don't really notice what men want to keep renewing. Likewise, they think we have our hair done once a year. That's ample. Why would I spend more than £10 on a haircut? That's all it costs him. Well, it's because I don't want a razor taken to my hair.
No, that is absolutely fantastic. And Deb, I know that you're going to be joining us in a few months' time to tell us your actual money journey as well on the podcast. So that's very exciting to hear that. I know you've already been as a guest talking about money and relationships. So for those of you who haven't caught the podcast, please check it out on the Money Compass podcast. And I'll remember to put a link on this post as well for you all. But I'm looking forward to hearing your money journey story as well, and for you to share it with everybody. So thank you so much for sharing your top tips about money and relationships with us today.
You're welcome.
And with that, we've completed today's episode. We hope you have enjoyed following along with us today and taking another step closer to a financially secure future.
If you've enjoyed today's podcast, you can head over to themoneycompass.co.uk, where you can find out more information, hints and tips from today's episode.
If you'd like to get more involved, share your own experiences and learn from a friendly community on a similar journey to you, why not join us in our Facebook group, The Money Compass, where we will support you in navigating your way to financial success.
Thank you for listening, and see you next time.